So it is my pleasure to invite on stage Mr. Nainar Ramaswamy, CEO of Beacon, to lead this very discussion. So can we welcome sir with a big round of applause, everybody?
Thank you.
Well, sir, over to you to take this discussion forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you for the invitation. So this is a panel discussion with some esteemed professionals who have agreed to come here and share their insights of their association with SolidWorks. What do they do in their business? So it's going to be like an interesting conversation. It's a free-flowing conversation that we are going to have. So we will call, we'll call one by one. So the first panelist is an entrepreneur who strongly believes in making technology work smarter. So he's redefining motorcycling with smart technology, revolutionizing Indian motorcycle market with EV tech. Not just regular EV tech, but with a high voltage EV tech, which is one of their unique value propositions. He spent some time in Tesla learning the ropes of EV. He's a local boy from MIT and Chennai, and he holds a master's from Purdue University. Please welcome Mr. Dinesh Arjun, co-founder and CEO of Raptee HP. Thank you, Arjun, for taking. Thank you, Dinesh, for taking your time. Please. How do people call you? Dinesh or Arjun? Dinesh. Please. The second panelist is an accomplished technologist who heads product development activities. He has over a decade of experience in specialization in cables and high power electronic and electric equipment. He's a lead engineer in the Chennai operations for a multi-billion-dollar industrial global conglomerate in electric cables, accessories, and high voltage cables and all of that. Please welcome Mr. Nitin Subramani, lead engineer manager at NKT Corporation, India. Thank you, Nitin, for coming. Thank you, sir. Please. The third panelist is a technopreneur. He's a material scientist. He's a mechanical engineer by profession. He holds a PhD in mechanical engineering from University of Illinois and master's degree in nanotechnology. Over the years, he has worked in JSW Steel. He has deep interest in energy storage, sustainable transport. He is working on redefining battery technologies. Please welcome Dr. Ravindra Kempiah, CEO of Zenfinity. Thank you. Thank you for taking your time. Please. The fourth panelist to complete the panel, he works for another industry which is very, very critical, fire and safety. Right? He works for a fire and safety company in the engineering profession, decades of experience, having built fire and safety equipment across oil and gas and many, many industries. Please welcome Mr. Pawan Kumar from Godal, India. Thank you, Pawan. Thank you. So it's a great panel. Two entrepreneurs, one person from a multinational corporation, other one who builds, systems with zero tolerance for failure, right? So it's going to be very, very interesting conversation that we are going to have on technology, on CAD, on how they are looking at transforming their businesses, adapting all these technologies. So all of you have been associated with SolidWorks and Beacon in some form or the other at some point of time, right? Your existing customers and all of that. So let me start with you, Dinesh. Can you elaborate on your association with Beacon and your story with SolidWorks?
Sure. No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Beacon has been, again, I don't say this just because I'm here. Beacon has been part of Raptee's journey from day one. Again, when we started out as a startup program where we had a couple of free licenses, and then we slowly kind of graduated. The biggest challenge for us is we're a 7-year-old company which has just started to make revenue. So every rupee was very difficult for us to kind of spend. I think the entire ecosystem has been very generous, and we've had a tremendous amount of support so far. So yeah, I mean, it's been a delightful journey so far.
Thank you so much. Nitin, you don't have any budgetary constraints. So how are you using SolidWorks in your organization? And as a follow-up question, being part of a large global organization, you will have like different kind of challenges, right? For a startup like Dinesh, the challenges are different, but for you it is very, very different. So can you tell us your story association with SolidWorks and Beacon?
For SolidWorks, I can say that 15 years before it started, as a design engineer, I started the career with SolidWorks only. So, I worked in multiple sectors in power, oil and gas, and manufacturing sector also. Now with it, when I stepped into NKT operations, I was in a part of installation department where I want to incorporate all the real-time works. It should be happen during installation of cables in offshore and onshore also. So I thought that with the incorporating, usually it is going for AutoCAD and similars. In SolidWorks, we will giving them all the insights, what all is going to happening in the installation itself. So that's a difficult we are facing it, especially in offshore. So we're coming up with SolidWorks, how the peoples are now doing that everything. So the SolidWorks and the Beacon. So Beacon I have been with 2018. So the people will be, what are the new tool, new segments is introducing, they will come and teach us how it has been incorporated along with the sectors also. So I can say the Beacon and SolidWorks has given us opportunities to come over here.
Thank you. Thank you for for those nice words. Ravindra, you are in deep tech, right? You are looking at transforming the battery industry and all of that. So what role does SolidWorks and Beacon play in your journey so far?
First of all, thanks for the warm invitation and the introduction. It's really great to be able to see so many smart engineers here. And Beacon and the Salt Systems have been a steady partner. We started our journey in Canada, and ever since day one, the Salt and SolidWorks has been a fundamental platform on which we have built our products. When we came to India, Beacon has been a steady partner from day one. The support we get from these guys are phenomenal. So just like Dinesh, we also started as a startup. Now we are just gearing. But because we have R&D office in IIT Madras, manufacturing in Delhi, our headquarters in Canada, and then office in the US, maintaining all of this, getting all the engineers aligned becomes critical. We have just started our India operations, but to be able to interact with our US customers, Canadian customers, and maintain the production here makes it very easy with the 3D SolidWorks platform, the unique online platform they have. And we just started working with Indian Air Force and Defense, especially after Operation Sindoor. The emphasis on drones and battery technology for military and defense application has been quite phenomenal. And when we want to share very confidential design files with anybody else, there's a level of confidence that we can place on SolidWorks saying that, hey, if I send it in this, it will not be tampered with. So that gives us a great confidence in it. So we're looking forward to continuing that, and especially as we grow with these mobility and energy storage products. So it's been a fundamental building block for us.
Thank you. So Pawan, you are building fire safety systems and doing all of those things. So what role does SolidWorks play in your role, and how does it help you to do your job in a better way?
First of all, First of all, thank you for the session, and it's a great time to inform how we do and how we use SolidWorks for fire and security safety systems, because those are the critical and cautious equipments where if any of these sprinklers go off, and we are also off, it seems, right? So these equipments are very critical, and we need to be precise. Like each to matters, and accuracy of the design is highly recommended. And in this way, we have our headquarters and some of our sister companies considered as other companies who are working with us in Gulf. So we need to day by day collaborate with the designs, sharing the drawings for continuous revisions, so that the data continuity is directly transferred till the production floor, so that we maintain accuracy and reach the customers with the final product, and provide a good feedback with the stakeholders, something like that. And when we started our first office, Gardel, in 2021, Chennai, and this is the only office we have in India, and Beacon got associated with us, and they have been doing well with us from 2021, from last 5 years. So everything is good, all good.
Thank you. That's so good to hear. Everything is good. I hope everyone can say that very, very confidently. So all of you are in technology business with a high level of accountability and traceability. Like, let me come to Dr. Ravindra. So you are in your battery, you mentioned that you're supplying to defense and all of those things. So which means that you have to have a very high level of traceability of what you design, what you produce, and what you deliver to your end users, right? How do you do that today? And how do you expect Dassault or SolidWorks products to play a role in that?
I think SolidWorks is evolving every day with the introduction of new tools, not just, first I'll get to the traceability part of it. It is critical when we send drawings to stakeholders within the military. They need to be able to see both the system and subsystem level, version control, maintaining version control, as well as documenting all of this becomes much easier, systematic. And second of all, being able to, as our friend said, Pawan said, in applications where mission critical applications like missiles, you cannot have any failure, 0%. One jet costs about 1,800 crores. So one battery cannot bring the jet down. That means it has to go through several layers of redundant safety mechanisms. And the inbuilt tools really help us. We are hoping that in the coming months and years, the introduction of AI, introduction of design tools where we can accelerate the cycle, design cycle, that is something we are hoping it will come into fruition. But the version control is critical, especially when we send the BOM material, the design files to multiple stakeholders. Being able to track all their edits and document it has become critical for us.
Yeah, fantastic, because it's a very, very high accountable business that you are in. You are no different, Dinesh. You are in automobile industry, and there also you have like high level of accountability and traceability and safety concerns. So what kind of a digital continuity that you have in your setup now, or what do you envisage as a future direction for you to provide this kind of a continuity?
Absolutely. No, I think for us, the stakes are a little different. Though accountability, I mean, for us, the volumes are much higher than what Ravindra mentioned, but it gets discovered. If there are any issues, it gets discovered early on. But the problem for us is that if we discover an issue, that means we're too late in time of, again, we'll have to retool the component, we'll have to go back to our supplier, change components, and then do it all over again. Given where we are in our journey, like I said earlier on, I think the biggest bottleneck for us is capital. So I can't afford to lose capital. I can't afford to kind of have the lethargy and say, okay, if something goes wrong, we can make that change 2 months down the line. So for us, the bigger point here is to ensure that every component that goes out of the company into a supplier or for tooling is the final part. There's no scope for us to do an ECN a couple weeks, a couple months later. And to add to this, the bigger challenge now is that, again, as a small company which is trying to, but we're 140 people strong, which might be a lot of people for a startup, but if you compare that to an R&D facility of an established OEM, it's probably 1/10 or 1/20th the size, which means there are fewer people making a lot more components, which means there's a lot of variables there and a lot more room for error. So continuity is very important. That's also one of the reasons that we have an inbuilt PLM tool that we're using with you guys as well, which helps us kind of get rid of those places where errors can happen. And we also have our own internal process check in addition to that to ensure that these errors don't occur. Yeah, hope I answered what you asked.
Interesting. You also looked after PLM solutions in Tesla, right?
Of sorts. So I think there we're working with Innovia, which is a different thing, but that's also the thing, right? So here we can't afford something like
what Tesla can afford.
What Tesla can afford. So what we do now is largely with 3D experience, which does 90% of what possibly you can offer a company like us, but at a fraction of the cost. So it's been interesting.
Yeah. So the Innovia PLM, Tesla may be using on-prem and whatever, could be expensive proposition, but the cloud-based Innovia PLM has got multiple versions, which can really help you to companies like yours, startups, to get on into the digital thread bandwagon much early in your in your startup phase itself, so that you will be able to scale much faster. So Nitin, you deliver high cables and electrical accessories and all of that, which are also designed and delivered across the globe, right? So what kind of tools, and you can't say that I have a budget constraint because you're a multi-billion-dollar company. So how do you manage, what kind of tools do you use to maintain digital continuity within your organization?
So for this, in NKT, the budget is not a concern, but anyway, we have to accomplish the lot of things. We also consider also that the cash also, we can spend it wisely. So for the digital continuity, the traceable of parts in PLM also we will be maintaining it. And also for accessories, and also the lot of products will be traced according to the BOM and everything will be in that case that where we can get the lot of insights of that pack, what is there. So that we will use the PLM, and then with the experience of CAD also, we will be regularized more.
Okay. So Pavan, what are your thoughts on this topic? How do you provide digital continuity within your organization?
Digital continuity is, when you say digital, people think it is a trend. Digital continuity, what I personally feel is it's not a trend. So it is making the information available at any time in a project or a process of a product life cycle, and transferring the same information irrespective of changing of the person, time, and any of the constraints what it has. So you, for example, SolidWorks has a SolidWorks Composer, I think, right? SolidWorks Composer is one of the tool which takes or captures the data from your 3D model and gives you operation and maintenance manual type of things which can generate. So this digital continuity is from the design or a concept and design phase till the manufacturing and releasing a product from the shop floor. So this data what comes from the start to end should be in the same way, and whatever the constraints change. And with respect to the specific day, what we are talking about SolidWorks, I think SolidWorks has a collaborative ecospace, like exchanging the drawings also for revisions, and making different revisions and assigning it to the person, also sharing the data, collaborating with different teams for interdepartmental checking. So this design continuity is superb, and I think it's already they have met all the threshold level. So it's really helpful, and we personally are already struggling to adopt this, because still we have the same conventional things like sharing the drawing on mails or uploading it to the servers, because the legacy companies, like bigger engineering companies, have their own drives or somewhere where you upload the files, but they are not used to open e-drawings or any of the reviewing tools, right? So I think with those constraints, even all other companies are having the problem of adopting this, but there will be a day when everything is 3D experience and cloud-based, so everyone will adopt, I think. Because once you adopt it, or the person who adopts it faster will be the game changer.
That will be our utopia, where every design, every engineer in fact, when SolidWorks started, in 95, 97, the motto of of SolidWorks, I don't know how many of you have heard of it, to put the power of 3D CAD in every engineer's desktop. That was in 97, because at that time there was no laptop, it was only desktops. So they drew a mission saying that every engineer should have 3D modeling in their desktop. So this is utopia for us. Every engineer should have 3D experience in their platform. So that also follows up, gives me as a continuation, because how do you see companies moving towards the cloud, Dinesh? Let me start from you. Do you trust the cloud?
Absolutely. No, so I think, see, we're a little different from, like Pawan mentioned, right? So digital and, digitization has become a very trendy buzzword in industries. For us, it's, again, we're a 7-year-old company, which means we are as digital native as it can be. And for me, setting up on-premises servers just doesn't make sense, because one, I don't have the capital, and I can't, do it on day one and then expect, okay, over a 10-year period or a 5-year period, it's gonna make sense for me. So we're growing up in a space where, VC-funded companies, obviously, for us, OpEx is always better than CapEx. So for us, it's not just, conducive from the way we work, but also the way capital enters our company, right? So for us, digital native becomes the way of we do things. So that's how it's been, and not just in things like SolidWorks or PLM, but across, right? Right from the way we, for example, we don't even have. We don't provide laptops to our employees. It's bring your own device. Then how do you then control that, and how do you ensure that the tools that are being used for the company are legit, and you stay within your compliances. So these are all these become a lot easier when you're cloud native and you're able to control that content remotely.
Fantastic. So to add to what Pawan was telling, he's talking about Composer, right? Composer is essentially a tool for doing the kind of thing that you talked about. It's about, especially if I am designing something and I'm commissioning something at the site. You are the designer sitting here in Bangalore, but your commissioning happenings in Delhi. So how do you communicate to that person? You can do it by 2D drawing. You can pick up the phone and call. But Composer is a tool which will provide that kind of continuity between the design and the installation part. So there are tools available as part of Dassault ecosystem to provide the digital continuity. Beyond that, it is up to each entrepreneur to say, okay, like you have been like here, yes, I trust cloud. I want everything in the cloud. I let my employees also bring my own device, whereas Nitin will disagree, right? You don't allow your employees to bring your computer to the office, right?
Personally, I can say I like to work in cloud.
Okay.
Because I don't want to carry my heavy laptop with me always when I'm traveling along to Sweden or somewhere in any global location. But in cloud, I am very much interested to work it. I am thinking of that also.
Okay, but you're not in the cloud yet.
Not it.
You're not in the cloud yet. See, that is the, that is what I wanted to bring out, because there is one set of people, like especially startups, and one set of people who trust the cloud. There is another set of legacy companies who have been there all years. They have, it's not because they are resistant, but they have got so much amount of protocols, and all of them, their compliances, all of that has to be addressed before they can actually move to the cloud. What about you, Dr. Ravindra?
Whether we like it or not, I think India has already adopted cloud. I don't think any other country, whether it's North America or Europe, has the kind of UPI payment system that India has. And as a company, for us, cloud has become like the go-to platform for many things, from simulation to tracking all our battery assets. In fact, all our batteries, a few thousand of them on the field, have cloud connectivity, and they have GPS and a 4G SIM card. So we are constantly getting megabytes of data every day from each battery, and then that is fed into our machine learning algorithms to understand what's going on with these batteries. So it is extremely essential for us, and especially for a company where we are deploying battery on a service model, battery as a service. What is the status of my battery? What is the utilization rate of my battery? And what is the downtime of my battery? Completely depends on how quickly and how reliably I'm getting data to the cloud. Without this, we would be very much handicapped, and it would be very difficult for us to deploy batteries without knowing what's going on. If I'm sitting here, my batteries are in Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, and Delhi, and every time, only when there is a downtime, I have to send my engineer. I'm not going to be able to run the company. But if I know exactly for example, in our company, every 10 seconds, data stream comes from each battery to our cloud. This ensures that even if there is a downtime, the fleet managers are alerted, the distributors are alerted, and we are alerted. So this has become like really the nervous system of our company now. And both on the product side as well as on the core development side, one of the problems I see is the documentation, the level and the precision with which we do the documentation, especially if you have engineers sitting in multiple places. If we don't do the documentation right, the next engineer comes in, he has no idea what has been done. We waste a lot of time, a lot of money in redoing certain things. So in documentation also, cloud connectivity is so important for us.
So, Dinesh, I have a follow-up question connected to that. You must also be getting a lot of data from your two-wheeler, from your motorcycle to the cloud, right?
We do.
You do. Okay. So, which means that it is the backbone for your operations and your pretty much everything that you do.
Absolutely, and that's also, we're also looking at that as one of the key revenue channels going forward as well, right? So it's not just vanity or a feature that you advertise to the customer. It's also how we're able to kind of deliver a lot more value to automobiles than what we've seen in ICE, right? Today, an automobile is just seen as an item, a tool that takes you from point A to point B, but we all spend close to about an hour, 2 hours on our motorcycles and cars. So what can they do better, and how can they augment your commute time or the period that you sit on the vehicle? That's something that we're looking at, and that's, I think, where all of this also comes in. And more importantly, as vertical integration becomes very key, and this is something that we're seeing outside of India, Teslas and the BYDs, the ability for us to kind of make changes on the product and make it better as it ages increases, and a lot of that has to do with the amount of data that comes into the cloud, and we're able to compile that in a way that has never been done before. This is true to ICE as well to a level, but here the parameters that you're able to control remotely is a lot more, and I think that's where sending data to the cloud and analyzing it and then pushing it back into the vehicle makes a big difference.
Awesome, awesome, great. So, Nitin, what are the other tools? Today, SolidWorks is much beyond CAD. In '97, when it started, it had only CAD. Today, it does a whole sort of things, like Pawan brought out Composer as one of the cases that you could think of. What are the other products from SolidWorks or the Dassault ecosystem that you are using in your organization? How are they helping you?
So in our organization, we are using that other tools like simulations and all. We are using it for R&D department. Okay. So for transformer designs and all. So that's a tool we are using to extra. For transferring also data and also for rendering purpose also how it is look like in real-time situations in the substations and everything. We are doing that in rendering process also.
Okay, Dr. Ravindra, what other?
When we design batteries for Canada, the temperatures in Canada are -20, -30. And when we design batteries for Chennai and Delhi, it has to sustain +40 degrees. Simulation is a key part for us. I hope I think my engineers are much more probably aware of this. If we can combine the thermals with the mechanical structural designs, probably this will be a lot more helpful for us. Right now, we do use SolidWorks. We also work with ANSYS for some of the thermals. But as we design products, being able to quickly check the feasibility in different thermal loadings, mechanical loadings. So simulation is a critical piece for us right now.
So the same battery works in Chennai as well as in Canada?
No, it doesn't.
No,
so we have to design what is needed for India, and the Indian summers are very different, and nowhere else can we find this kind of temperature, not in Canada, not in Europe. So we cannot expect the batteries designed for Europe or the cells designed in Europe to work in Canada or in India the same way. So we have to design thermals differently for India.
So what happens, Dinesh, if I take your bike to Canada? Is it going to stop working?
No, so that's a very interesting point that Ravindra is bringing up, right? I think for us, the way I look at it is a little different. I think India has conditions across the spectrum. You go to, places like Rajasthan where you hit 50, 45, 50. I mean, forget Rajasthan. To go to Delhi, you're going to see temperatures which are crazy, which is a lot more, going to be in the near future for us, where we're entering NCR very soon. And then on the other side, you have places like, Leh and Ladakh where your temperatures drop. So I think for us, it's not just about developing for one geography, but rather across the spectrum. I understand where Ravindra is coming from. They have different applications for different places. But as an automobile, which you take everywhere, we have to kind of develop for both extremes. And in some places, like again, if I take Delhi, for example, you have both extremes in the same city, right? So that's how we look at things. But again, the extremes and possibilities of extremes is a little different. So we ensure that our battery packs never exceed a 45-degree, temperature. And at the same time, we ensure that we don't let it cool down below -10, -15, where at least it's controllable. But again, for somebody who's developing battery packs at different applications, it could be something that is specifically for energy storage, maybe at -20, and energy storage at possibly even 50 degrees, like maybe in the Gulf. So yeah.
Great. That's a great insight for everyone to take it, and it's thank you for that. So you heard about AI, this, that, and since morning, and I'm sure you keep hearing about it every day. So let me start with you, Dr. Ravindra. What do you, in your organization, do you use AI to process any of your data sets to draw some insights? Or what do you see as a roadmap for AI to play a role in design and managing your other activities in your organization?
Certainly, being able to review some of the documentation is something the simple LLMs are already doing. But where we see real opportunity is we get a lot of engineers, and if the senior engineer has put up a protocol, and if the LLM can put out a system or a simple set of instruction for the new engineers, hey, this is how, if you want to make a design, that level of prompt level engineering will be critical to get new designs onboarded, new engineers up to the speed. Other than that, we see a big opportunity for data management. When you have a lot of data coming in, it's difficult to parse through quickly, and that's where AI can really help. Starting from simple, email summary all the way to legal documentation and to the product data with multiple inputs coming in, voltage, current, temperature, latitude, longitude, all of that, synthesizing that, making meaningful decisions out of it. That's where I see AI being a very good contributor there.
So, Nitin, in your organization, do you guys have any initiatives running, leveraging AI?
For installation, we have initiated some AI tools. Because it's when we are designing in real-time data and all, we are expecting a lot of longitudes and latitudes dimensions from the from global office. So we will segregate that one, and we will put it in the table, and we will directly incorporate in SolidWorks so that how it is moving, the cables will be moving over there and there. So that is the main thing we are doing it in particularly in installation department.
Okay.
So that makes us easy because
Easy
when
win.
when we receive lots of data, somehow we will be missing the elements and all. Now with this AI, it is very easy, and the time consuming very limited. Previously it will take 8 hours now we are coming to 4 hours. So the time is.
Yeah, when it comes to picking AI, right, picking up easy wins and these simple use cases where it can give you results is very, very important. Many companies, large companies draw a huge roadmap for AI, spend like millions of dollars, and at the end of it, they don't see the results. And this AI is not going to work. It is going to work, but if you're able to define a problem and be able to adapt it, it is going to solve the problem. Are you using any of the AI tools in your business, Dinesh?
Absolutely. So, obviously today, I think 5 years ago, AI was the way that AI was interpreted was different. Today, you have tools that everybody can use every day, right? Like you use Gemini like 5-10 times a day, just like you use Google now. But the way that we're looking at it is how is that going to again add value to the customer, right? So what we're in fact doing is looking at it from a hardware angle. AI is expensive. Compute is expensive. You push data into the cloud, the cloud costs also shoot up. If the cloud is getting built to the OEM and then I bill it to the customer. So if the vehicle's going to run analytics, might as well run it, specifically to the vehicle, might as well run it on the vehicle itself. So we're building a lot of compute power onto the motorcycle itself. So each motorcycle can do a lot of compute at the edge where it takes data from that specific vehicle, analyzes it, and then derives outcomes from that data. So that's the way that we're looking at it. Obviously, there's a little bit of fleet level data that then goes into the cloud, and then that we process and push back. But we're building a lot of compute. So nobody talks about the hardware that goes into actually making any of this possible, and also the associated costs with it. So that's the problem that we're trying to solve right now. What the possibilities will be is anyone's guess, but yeah.
Do you think AI will take people's job? Yes.
Just to add one point, so we were fortunate, just to add on to Dinesh's point, having the compute on the device itself can be expensive, and sometimes simply the customer may not realize the value of it. If we can decouple the compute resources from the hardware, then it makes it easy to control this centrally. So one example is, we were fortunate to get on a program called NVIDIA Inception. It's a startup program similar to Beacon's startup program, and any startup here can apply for it. If you have a lot of data coming in, then NVIDIA will give you maybe $150,000 to $200,000 worth of cloud credits, and you can run on their Blackwell GPUs or whatever H4 GPUs and reduce your compute cost. And we just started utilizing the Inception program resources. So we send some of the data to their hardware so we can run our algorithms for state of charge, state of health, and residual useful life prediction. So that is something I think some of the people here can use. So those kind of resources are also available from Google Tensor, as well as Azure Cloud. So that can be very useful.
That's a very, very valuable insight for everyone here. In my previous startup, Microsoft gave me $150,000 worth of Azure credit. That's in 2016. We could play around, try n number of things without worrying about the cost. But today, they don't give the cloud credit very easily, Azure and AWS. But NVIDIA is giving it out. That is very, very useful information for anyone who's trying to build some technology. So I was about to ask a question to Dinesh. Do you think that AI will take engineers' job?
I don't think so. I don't think that's the way that's the way we're headed. I think, in fact, if you look at in our company, I'm very hesitant to give very mundane tasks to my employees because they get bored and they say, I don't want to work for you anymore. So they always want only tasks that can really, keep them, hooked on and interested. So I don't know who to delegate mundane tasks to end up doing it myself. So I think those are the stuff that AI is going to take up. The mundane tasks is what AI is going to take up, and the real fun is now you filter out all of the fun tasks, and then that you give it to people, and then the rest, which is anyway boring, give it to AI. So and in some ways, I think that will also improve work-life balance, if I may, right? So you don't have a lot of work to do. Only the stuff that you really have to worry about. So I think it's going to be interesting.
Fantastic. What do you think, Nitin?
No, definitely not.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
AI
Because
cannot-
AI will not take, usually AI will ease the work only for the engineers, those who are working in regular drawing works or the repetitive works, it will be come down. So it will ease the engineers only, not anything else. It cannot replace anywhere.
What do you think, Ravindra? Do you think AI can design a fire safety system?
I agree with Nitin, because AI is, for considering as a design view, generative design AI is the powerful tool what we have for engineering designs. And obviously it will not take up the jobs of engineers, but it will make our life easier. It will solve the more data intensive, tedious task to simpler form. And the AI algorithms are in such a way that they can make hundreds and thousands of optimal designs with the constraints what you throw at the AI. I think you should be perfect in keywords and all other things, and you have to provide the constraints like what should be the costing, what should be the flow, what should be the load capability for vehicles, I think. So for Ravindra also, like they have to make the constraints, and then AI will give you hundreds and thousands of optimal designs. Rather than you make a prototype or you make a concept design, AI is doing it for you, and you can relax it and make your life easier. Obviously, it will not take a job.
I think Ravindra's answer. Yeah.
So I have a slightly different viewpoint. What AI, in my opinion, if somebody is not at all using AI, then it will be very difficult for them to catch up. I have two engineers. One engineer who knows extremely well how to use Perplexity and a bunch of other tools. He can put out SOPs and reports so quickly and so neatly. For the other engineer who doesn't use it, I can clearly see the difference. He will struggle to get SOPs. He'll struggle to maintain the protocols, documentation. And if he spends a lot of time, his productivity will go down. So it will empower people who already are using. It will empower them. For people who are not going to use it, it will be a challenge for them.
Okay. Yeah, that would have been my take as well, because anyone who doesn't adapt AI will become obsolete after some point of time. May not be now, but at some point of time. But all of you are accomplished professionals. We have got a bunch of people who are here. If you have to give like one piece of advice to an engineer who is starting his career, or a startup founder who is looking at where to invest, let me start with you, Dinesh. What will be your 2 lines of advice to...
I think accomplished is an overstatement here. We're still just getting started in our journey. We have a long way to go. But maybe for engineering students, I think one thing that I think benefits both the startup ecosystem and students is do internships at startups. I think that makes a big difference. You get a lot of experience, and not just one, but maybe multiple during the course of your undergrad or postgrad, where you're able to actually work on real life products that end up going to the customer and not just sideline products. I think that's something that we're also actively working with the state to bring into curriculum. So I think that's an ask or a request more than an advice. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, when accomplishment starts with starting something, right? You're already there. That's a significant step. So Nitin, what will be your...
So for first, for those who are starting in the engineers, so somebody will have been in a particular sector, so they will be learning one features or one tool alone. I would recommend that the person stood in free time or in, they can research all other areas. So they can learn all the tools in different sectors. So they can be in a particular area that is to be there. So if the person is studying in sheet metal, they should be learn about weldments and everything so that they can elaborate in much areas and all.
What about you, Dr. Ravindra?
So if there are some investors or policymakers in the audience, my request is please invest in startups, please invest in technology. India really lacks that. India has a lot of great engineers, very smart, hardworking engineers, but we don't have the ecosystem, we don't have the support system that China or US has. So if people in the government or investors are in the audience, I request you to invest in it because India can be much more than what it is right now. And for engineers, what I share is think of long term. I see engineers jumping from company to company, chasing CTC packages, build something called deep work. You should be really good at something, build some really hard skill that cannot be replaced immediately. So think of the long term. But if these two can come together, the policy and the investment and good engineers, we can do something, we can do amazing stuff.
I agree with Ravindra, like changing the job, what he said at the later discussion. The thing is when we are, the topic itself is like starting from zero to the success rate, what we are talking. So the engineer who is starting, maybe he's a draftsman or a designer or a design engineer. The thing is, you have to deliberately shift the focus from what to design to how you design and how it will project or how it will support the business goals and how it will help innovate to achieve business success. So when you start thinking in that way, so obviously you are there. You are there in the right place and all the good things happen together and it happens on time. Only thing is try doing good things in the design and try bringing innovative designs. So doing that will take you the new heights.
Okay. So I have like rapid fire questions. You have to answer within like 5 seconds. Your relationship with SolidWorks, love at first sight, love after marriage, and getting used to the software.
Love after marriage.
Love what?
Love after marriage.
Love after marriage. Nitin?
Love at first sight.
Love at first sight.
Complicated relationship. I'm just joking. No, it's like, it's an ongoing relationship.
What about you, Pawan?
Moving with the flow.
Huh?
Because for me it is like it came to me in a profession and I'm just moving with the flow. But things are going good as it is SolidWorks. Everything is good.
Beacon and SolidWorks continue to support the Indian ecosystem because we need a lot of great engineers.
So design is more important than marketing. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Nitin?
Yeah, yes.
Agreed.
Pawan?
engineers and we'll never let
I-
design go.
Yeah,
As much as I wanted to say no.
This is the third panel discussion. Only one person said that marketing is more important than design. But he is an entrepreneur like you, but he's a different type of entrepreneur. So simulation or physical testing, where do you place your trust? Start with you.
I think combination of both. I don't think there's any question about that. We do 90% simulation, 10% physical testing. We cover 90% of the distance with simulation and then finish it off with physical testing. So yeah.
Simulation only. So we can trust it.
You can trust simulation now.
Simulation. And then when we go for final product, the one thing we can do it. So simulation will be playing up.
If someone says, I don't trust simulation, I'm going to point them to you. Go talk to Nitin, who is this in Chennai.
I would lean 60% into physical testing and 40% into simulation to augment the testing, because the electrochemical systems are complex and it is still catching up, the models are still catching up. So in our case, it's a bit different, but you cannot, both are different sides of the same coin.
I agree with simulation because it helps us to reduce the prototypes, what we do, and test physically. And on the other hand, it is difficult to agree that also because we are into critical system packages which should not fail at any moment, and it should be providing us security 100% on all the 365 days. So I say 50-50. Even the simulation is better, but still, this is the fact.
So one final takeaway from each one of you. The core message to the audience about the ecosystem approach. There was a time when we kept individual pieces, individual people and all of that. Today, there's so much talk about an ecosystem. Like Ravindra talked about an ecosystem of product, investors, this, that, and all of those things. What is your core message to the audience about, also about a product and also partner products? It's not just only one product. There is an ecosystem of solutions which is around a product. So what is the core message that you would want to give to the audience on the importance of this ecosystem-based approach for modern manufacturing processes?
No, I think, see, I was seeing something earlier from the film industry, which is completely different from what we're doing, right? How a film is made and what it takes to kind of make a film is irrelevant to the viewer, right? What the viewer is able to consume only matters. I mean, whether the movie is good or not is what matters. Whether it was done by Shankar with 1,000 crores, whether it was done by somebody else with 10 crores, it doesn't matter, right? So I think that's how the ecosystem also here is. Like, for me, the product and all of the product, extras need to work together to deliver a problem, deliver a solution to a problem. If it's all just additional expenses, but I'm not really seeing any value add, then it doesn't make sense. So is an ecosystem approach for every product necessary? Probably not. But if you're, for example, we're making a motorcycle, I'm yet to prove to a customer why motorcycle software is required for motorcycles, right? Motorcycle na petrol pota vandi A to B pono. If it doesn't do that, then software doesn't matter. So I think it's a very nuanced thing. It really depends on product and what we're delivering to the customer. Ecosystem, no ecosystem doesn't really matter.
What about you, Nitin?
So from my thing, like products and everything, if it's a value added means nowadays the people are expecting the more value added to particular products. So now we are saying the evaluation of cell phones, we can say. When futures, when past and all, the call and everything is okay. But now we are asking more valuations. So if the ecosystem is asking, we have to provide it and we have to go ahead with the future generations and future people.
Ravindra?
So I'm just trying to understand what you mean by ecosystem here.
When I say ecosystem, it's like we talk about Dassault, right? Dassault has got an ecosystem of products. But then when I say ecosystem, it goes beyond that also. Like, for example, if you have to present your solution to an investor, how do you present it? You have to have some kind of visuals and all of those things. So that's what I mean by how do you make things flow across along with your ecosystem.
I'm still trying to process the question, but I'll let Pawan take this one in the short.
For ecosystem, when I relate it with our packages, like we cannot be manufacturing everything from our side. Like for our packages, we need tank, pumps, motors, pipings, regulator valves, and all other things. Normally, we purchase it from OEMs. But the best part of SolidWorks, what we have is Dassault system is like they have reviewing tools, they have SolidWorks Visualize, SolidWorks Composer, and they have simulation cloud. Even the best part of the cloud is, even I recently heard this when we were procuring one of the license. It is premium or a standard, whatever, irrespective of the license versions. What you can do is you can switch off your system or something, like you can go in offline mode and take the license abroad. And if you are on any of the site or any of the things, or when you are out of India also, you can use the same license what you have purchased in India, and you can use it for 30 days, I think. 30 days you can do it out also. So when you talk about ecosystem, you have many things with the same product where you are using it. So when you have SolidWorks, you have e-drawings and many more things with respect to it itself. So like you come into the platform and there is no chance you go out of the platform. It is same like, I think last time when I heard one of the speakers saying that when you go to an e-commerce website, there is like a very less chance that you come out of the e-commerce website for purchasing something else out. So it is same like SolidWorks Dassault system ecosystem what we have. So I think you will not be going out and you will be using the same tools what it is providing. The cost bearing is there. I agree with Dinesh. He was saying that for AI there is investment and it's cost effective. There is a commercial impact on it. But still, when you purchase all the tools, maybe, so everything will run fine. Everything comes with a cost, but it has superb top-notch facilities within it.
So, if the Dassault ecosystem can be as good as, let's say, Apple ecosystem, everything is tightly integrated, seamless, certainly it will make a difference. At the same time, it is very difficult for one company to be expert in different aspects all at the same time. So we will need few different, whether it's thermal simulation, whether it is fluids, or whether it is electrical, something else. So we do need few different partners, but if the ecosystem can be as tight as the Apple one, certainly it will have a bearing on the usage.
Okay, thank you. With that, we come to the conclusion of the panel discussion. I believe that it was very, very insightful. The reason behind having this panel discussion all the innovation days is to give insights, because it is very difficult to catch hold of these people. They have volunteered to come and share their insights in this session. And for that, I want to thank each one of you for taking time to be here and then share your insights of how you are doing your business, how you are using different tools of SolidWorks. So thank you, everyone, and thank you for the audience for being very, very patient. Do we have time for any question from audience? No, I think we are running behind schedule. We're running behind schedule. Yeah. As a token of appreciation, we would want to give a small memento to each one of you. Thank you, Dinesh. Romba sandosha ungala meet pannadile. This is very, very nice to meet you. Thank you, Nitin. Very, very nice of you to come here. Can you come here? Thank you, Ravindra. It was a pleasure to meet you here. Thank you, Pawan. Thank you all so much other panel discussions, we had time for audience questions, which made it more interactive. But today we seem to be running out of time. Thank you all. Thank you.